There is breaking news now on Fox News Channel. The UN vote has come earlier than expected. The vote was to condemn Syria for its attack on its own people. The vote was 10 yes in the UN Security Council, 3 abstentions, and 2 no votes. One of those no votes was by one of the permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, which means the vote does not pass. The measure does not pass because every permanent member of the Security Council has a veto vote. We presume one of those no votes was by the Russians. We can't know just yet. Let's go to Eric Shawn. Eric Shawn, who voted no?
Yeah, it was Kazakhstan who voted no, along with Russia. Russia, no surprise. But the big news here, Shep, China's abstention. That is a big win for U.S. diplomacy. And when we were in the truck, Basham Rafai, who is with us, he is with the New Jersey chapter of the Syrian American Council, who opposes Assad. Come right, step up here, Mr. You were really shocked when you saw China abstain. What is your reaction to that?
Well, I'm glad to see that Russia is isolating itself amongst the international community. That's a clear sign that Assad is really in the wrong, and that the United States strikes have made a clear impact to the world.
But the Security Council actions over so many years have not done anything. Do you still have hope that the Security Council can actually help the situation in Syria?
With the new administration, the Trump administration, I really do have hope that we'll see positive things out of the Security Council, yes.
Thank you so much. So then again, the big news here, abstention from China. That is a win for those who are so upset and disturbed by what has been happening in Syria, Shep.
Eric, thanks very much. So in advance of this vote, the thinking was the Russians are going to vote against it. After all, they're investigating whether the Russians knew about it and the White House says the Russians did try to cover up the Syrian use of chemical weapons. The Russians support the Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad, as do the Iranians and Hezbollah from Lebanon. So the Russians would certainly vote against this. They're not even admitting that Syria did this. They want some sort of proof from the United States and the kinds of particulars that the United States is not offering at this time, because that goes to sources and methods. So the Russians voted no. They're a permanent member, so that the UN is not even going to condemn Russia for this. Kazakhstan was the other no vote. But the good news for United States diplomacy out of this has to be that the Chinese abstained. In the past, they've voted with the Russians on this matter. Clearly, Assad is beginning to change China's thoughts on this, and though the worthless UN condemnation did not go through, at least the Chinese abstained.